Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to my Robinhood portfolio. Today I'd like to talk about emerging markets funds. These are funds that invest in foreign securities, typically from countries that are considered developing countries. Typically countries like China, Brazil, countries in South America, Russia, India, Southeast Asia, the Middle East. I think of these countries as anything outside of the US, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and Japan. Anything outside those countries, outside of those typical industrialized regions, I consider developing countries. These funds have very, very high risk, but lots of reward if you're willing to buy into these and stick with these particular types of investment. The risk becomes because a lot of these countries, as the name would imply, are emerging or developing. They have lower per capita incomes. They have above average political, social instability. They have higher rates of unemployment, and as you can imagine, because of all of those things, they have lower levels of business and industrial activity relative to the other industrialized nations that I talked about. However, because they're developing, because they're emerging, they have very, very good growth potential. Very high risk, but very, very good rewards if, again, you're willing to buy into these and hold these. And the other big problem with these types of securities, or at least what makes them risky, is that these funds are holding stocks that are located on foreign markets, and foreign markets can be very, very volatile. You can have very significant declines in a very short amount of time. They often don't have the types of regulatory restrictions that the U.S. markets do. And again, these are from developing and emerging countries, so they just don't have the infrastructure that the U.S. or other industrialized nations have in their markets. So they're much, much more risk for that reason, as well as the other reasons I explained inherent in developing and emerging market countries. So having said all that, let's take a look at some funds you can invest in on the U.S. market, again, that have underlying portfolios of securities on foreign exchanges that, again, can be risky in and of themselves, but also because they're from developing and emerging countries. The first one here, VWO, is a great Vanguard fund, Vanguard Emerging Markets Fund. You can see on the bottom there, it's tracking a market cap weighted index of emerging market stocks, excluding South Korea for some reason. You can see it's a very, very large fund, $55.44 billion. For this particular market segment, I'm not sure what a good PE ratio is, but looking between different ETFs and emerging market funds, this is pretty good actually, 16.6, and it's got a good dividend yield as well, which is kind of surprising, 2.54%. But the very big thing you'll notice is that the performance over the last year for most of these has been very, very good. Excellent, actually. 19.76 over the last 1 year. Over the last 5 years, not so great. 19.26, but still a very, very good investment option. The second fund here, again, another very large fund, Ishares Fund, another emerging markets fund. You can see this is tracking emerging markets countries with more than $1 billion outstanding and for at least 2 years maturity. So a little bit more complex index, underlying index here. You can see it's a very large fund here, $12.72 billion. It's got an awesome dividend yield, actually, 4.73%. And again, over the last 1 year here, you can see, actually, this one is not up that much. It's only up 3.54%. Over the last year, only 24.14%. A little bit surprising. This may be one of the funds that does not have the performance like the other ones do. The third one here, Ishares Fund, Emerging Markets Fund. You can see on the bottom there, tracking a market cap weighted index of emerging market firms covering 99% of market capitalization. Again, a very large fund, $32.57 billion. PE ratio, like the other, 16.31. It's got a good dividend yield as well, 2.329. Over the last year, you can see this one's up 22.67%, so very, very strong performance there. But over the last 5 years, it's only up 12%. So again, these are very high risk, high reward, and these definitely will go up and down fairly quickly with regards to the markets. And then we have some more specialized funds here. This is for Greece, GREK here, Global X Fund. You can see on the bottom here, it's tracking a market cap weighted index of about 15 Greek firms. Again, the PE ratio, similar to the other, 16.7. Got a good dividend yield, 2.861. Market cap is much, much smaller than the other large funds. You can see over the last 1 year, 53.63%. Over the last 5 years, like the other funds, not doing well, but over the last 1 year here, 53.63%. So very, very good. Here's one from Poland, an Ishares Fund. Again, you can see it's a much smaller fund, $334.6 million for market cap. PE ratio is a little bit more expensive here, 20.8. It's got a good dividend yield, 2.148. And you can see on the bottom there, it's tracking a market cap weighted index of the broader Polish equity market. So kind of a cool fund here. Again, over the last 1 year, 50.5%. For the last 5 years, just 21.64. So I think you'll kind of see that with these more specialized emerging markets funds here, they're a very, very strong performance over the last year here. The third more specialized fund here is from South Korea, an Ishares Fund. Again, actually this is a little bit bigger, 3.76 billion, dividend yield 1.74. PE ratio is much better than the other ones, 12.446. And you can see this is tracking a market cap weighted index of large and mid cap Korean firms. Over the last 1 year, 30.96%, very, very strong. But over the last 5 years, just up 35.95%. Here's a cool one from Pakistan, PAK. Very small fund, only 33.83 million. PE ratio is very, very good, very cheap at 9.9. Dividend yield is excellent at 4.71. You can see this is tracking a market cap weighted index of companies that are headquartered in Pakistan. So kind of a cool Pakistan firm here. You can see it's only up 13.87%, but you can really see how it's been trailing back here. Otherwise, it would have been up almost 30% for the year, which is excellent. And over the last 5 years, only up 14.41%, but fairly new fund here. You can see starting in mid-2015. The last fund here, iShares Emerging Markets Fund, EEM. Very large fund, 32.38 billion. Should have included this actually in the first few that we talked about. 2.367 dividend yield. And this is a great company as well. You can see 23.13% over the last year. Over the last 5 years, 18.35%. So again, very strong performance over the last year, but holding these a little bit longer term has not yielded the performance that the overall S&P 500 has been doing. So again, EEM, very large fund, then some more specialized funds, PAK, Pakistan, EWK, South Korea, EPOL, Poland, GREK, Greece, and then again, some other large funds, IEMG, EMB, and VWO. One of my favorites, actually. The expense ratio is reasonable, 0.14%. It's a very large fund. If I were to invest in any of these, I would definitely put my money into VWO. So yeah, just wanted to quickly talk about some emerging markets funds. I know this has come up quite a few times in the comment threads, actually from about 3 or 4 months ago. So I'm just kind of getting around to doing this particular video. Sorry about that. But very high risk, high reward type of investing, emerging markets funds from developing countries. If you have the stomach for it, you can make quite a bit of return. But again, very, very high risk, a little bit higher yield with regards to growth. But again, not sure this would be ideal for new investors or any investor who is not risk tolerant. So yeah, kind of with that, I'll end the video. As always, if you guys enjoy my videos, feel free to like, share,